Hello, welcome. So today we're going to be looking at r/AmITheA, and we've been doing a lot of Best of Redditor updates, and now we're going to do a few of AmITheA, because apparently I have a one-track mind at the moment. Honestly, sometimes I get like this. I just get very hyper-focused on one certain thing or one certain type of thing, and that's where it goes. But anyway, if that sounds interesting to you and you want to listen along to that with me today, then please do stick around and enjoy. God, I couldn't do that in one breath. I am a failure. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please. Thank you. Okay, what have we got first? Am I the butthole for telling a friend that a tattoo on her chest saying "Forever Brian's" is a deal breaker for most men? I read that as brains a few times before it computed, by the way. It is late. Do not blame me for being a little dense. Even though Brian has since passed away. I've got a friend named Eula. That is relatively new, as I've only known her for 4 years. She has a tattoo on her chest, just below her collarbone, that says "Forever Brian's." She got it when she was quite young, early 20s, about 15 years ago, when she was engaged to her first love, who unfortunately passed away due to cancer, is my understanding. I don't know the history beyond that it happened quite quickly and that she got the tattoo after he passed away. I've been watching her date for about 4 years now, and the tattoo has consistently been a sticking point for the 3 to 4 or so guys that I've seen her with. I do get why, to be fair. I could understand why that would be a point of contention in a new relationship. Each one has said it differently, but they've all said that they'd like her to get it removed, or that it makes them uncomfortable enough to leave the relationship when it got serious. Last night, Eula and my wife were having a girls' night together, and I was downstairs enjoying some Baldur's Gate 3 when they both came down and asked for a guy's opinion. Uh-oh. That there is a conversation which you need to tread on eggshells around, and harassed me until I put the controller down. I warned them repeatedly that if they asked me for a guy's opinion, that I would provide one, but it might be hurtful. So, I asked the ladies if they remembered the movie Titanic. They both agreed. I asked them if they remembered what the core theme of the movie was. They both answered that it was a love story between Jack and Rose. So I told Eula, do you know who it wasn't a love story for? Rose's husband. Rose's husband married her, had children with her, stayed married to her for roughly 60 years, and grew old together, overcame adversity, and successfully had a long life together. But Rose didn't think of her husband or those memories together when she died 60 years later. She thought of Jack. All of that living that Rose and her husband did together meant little because in the end, when she passed over, she went to her first love, Jack. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness, yeah! Oh, I bet her husband's fuming. What the hell? I mean, you can have a soft spot for a past love, but that's a bit much, isn't it? After you spent like 60 years with someone and then they're like, yeah, you were nice, but Jack, beat your hands down, mate. The sting straight to the heart. I looked at Eula and said, that tattoo is written confirmation that they are not your forever person, which is when you're casually dating. But what you're indirectly asking for when things get too serious is if they're willing to sign up to be your Rose's husband. I agreed that Brian had passed away over a decade ago. I agreed it wasn't fair. I agreed that they were stupidly competing with a dead person. I agreed that removing it won't change how she felt about Brian. My bottom line was this was a one guy's opinion on the matter, which obviously all her previous boyfriends to some degree agreed with me on, as each one had raised it as a serious issue to them. I wasn't trying to start a huge argument, but that's basically what happened. Ooh, duck and cover, my friend. So I tried a different approach and told her, look, not trying to start crap, but everyone wants to find their forever person. What you're doing is basically telling these guys that you've already found yours, and that's not changing. So they keep it casual for as long as they can. When you try to get serious, they leave to protect themselves, because no one wants to be a placeholder, and it doesn't help how aggressively you defend it. Shortly after, she passed out on the couch, much to my relief. In hindsight, this should have been a conversation to have while sober. So, was I too harsh? Was I a butthole? Even the next morning, she was slowly crying and committing to removing it, which I told her to talk it out with more than just friends and maybe seek out a professional opinion before removing it. But I sure felt like a royal butthole. It really felt like there was no winning here, just a lot of hurt feelings and distant tragedy. Yikes. Yeah, there really is no winning there, is there? Here's what I would have done, what I would have suggested, should I say. I would have suggested, hey, if you want to keep that as a memory, and it's only really for her, no one else cares, do they, realistically? I know that sounds harsh, but they don't, other than, obviously Brian's family, but I doubt they care that she's running around with a tattoo. She could have that tattoo covered over so no one else can see it, but she knows it's still there, so she doesn't have to remove it. Or she could get something that symbolizes Brian and what he meant to her, but that is not directly obvious that it is for Brian. Do you know what I mean? Because I definitely don't think she should have to erase any memory of him that she's got to appease a new partner, because a decent new partner will understand that that person will always be someone who's special to her. Yeah. But like the OP says, they don't want to have to compete with the forever person title with someone who's no longer here, and I understand that. So it is a tricky one, but if that was the advice that I was asked for, that's what I would say. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments, shall we? Dea, I think, 1015 says, she could always just date guys named Brian. What a solution. Perfect. And then Indigo Rose 2022 says, my grandmother actually married 2 different guys with the same name. It's doable. Lol. Yeah, and Brian's such a common name as well. I bet they could. And then Butterfly MKM says, had a friend once whose dad was named Randall. Mum got remarried. He was also named Randall. All her kids had the middle name Randall. All 4 of them. It was super weird. What? That's so odd, but whatever floats your boat, clearly. She was really into the name Randall. Am I the butthole for refusing to wake up my husband when my parents visited and kicking them out when they insisted? Sorry for the throwaway account. I have colleagues that follow my main and I like to keep my personal life as private as I can. I hear you. With that said, I will keep details as low as possible as well. Husband and I have been married for 5 years now, and we are both 29 years old. The last 3 weeks, due to a complete screw-up in a department in the company my husband works for, it has been all hands on deck for my husband and his team to resolve this issue. My husband's been working 18-hour days, and even some days not even coming home, working throughout the entire night and into the next day. I don't know much about this issue exactly, but what I do know is that if they do not resolve this issue, it will be a $50 million dollar loss for the company. Someone really fucked up bad. My goodness. Wow. The issues are not the result of my husband or anyone in his team, but they are the ones that have to fix the issue. That sucks. That really sucks. I would be fuming. I can see the exhaustion in my husband's face when he comes in at 2 to 3 in the morning when I'm awake and leaves at 7 again. I don't know how he's doing it and just keeps going, but I try my best to keep as much as possible off his plate at home until he could get the issues resolved. Before this, he has been nothing but supportive and helpful around the house. When he comes home, he eats, showers, and goes straight to bed. I have found him some nights literally sleeping at the table while he was busy eating when I went down to check on him because he wasn't in bed yet and I got woken up. Or him passed out on the foot of the bed with the shower running and him still in his work clothes. That is not good for him. His company needs to get their act together. Like, they need to get more people on board to fix the issue if this is the toll it's taking. This guy sounds on the brink of burnout. Bless him. 2 nights back, he got home at around midnight, which is late, but was too early from when he normally gets back, and I thought something bad had happened because he looked like a ghost. But through his exhaustion, he gave me a massive smile and said, they did it, and everything is done. Yay! Yay! He told me the boss gave them each a couple of days and he only needs to be back in the office next week, Tuesday. Oh, at least he gets a couple of days off. Oh, he needs a friggin' raise. That's what he needs. He ate dinner, took a shower, and got into bed. Or a thanks for fixing the fuck up bonus. That would be good too. I got up the next morning around 9 and made breakfast. I thought about waking up my husband, but didn't and let him sleep. Around 12, my parents visited me. I normally work from home and they do visit from time to time, seeing as I'm 6 months pregnant as well. I greeted them and we sat down and had coffee. Around 30 minutes into their visit, they asked where my husband was because they saw his truck in the driveway. I told them he was still sleeping. My mother gave me a look and said it's unacceptable for my husband to be sleeping past 12, especially with a pregnant wife, and I should wake him up. He is an adult. Leave him alone. I told them no and to leave it, and then explained the full situations of what happened the last 3 weeks to them. They didn't budge and insisted I wake my husband up. Apparently it's not right for him to sleep in with a pregnant wife. It went as far as my mother standing up and saying if I didn't do it, then she will go and wake him up. I stood up and blocked my mother from going up the stairs and told my parents if they find it so wrong for my husband to get proper sleep after 3 weeks, or barely any sleep, they should leave our house because I will not, and I will refuse to let them wake him up as well. I told them I will let my husband sleep until he wakes up himself. I will not disturb him, and I will not allow anyone else to disturb him. I just had to stop and go and check what the tiny hairless reprobates were doing outside my bedroom because the noises were phenomenal. Apparently, climbing the blinds is the flavour of the week. So, yeah. Yay, cat owners! We can't have anything nice, can we? Back to the post. They asked me if I'm kicking them out, and I said yes. If they can't respect my request to leave my husband alone and let him sleep, they are no longer welcome. Their whole visit lasted around an hour. Around 3 p.m, I got bombarded with texts from the other family members berating me for kicking my parents out of our house, even my sister and brother berating me for doing it. I thought they were concerned about you being pregnant. Surely they shouldn't be harassing a pregnant woman. And it just goes to show the hypocrisy, doesn't it, of them? Telling me I'm the a-hole for kicking them out for just trying to help. I would understand if the OP's husband was jobless, didn't want to work, wasn't helping around the house, did naff all. This bloke has been burning the candle at both ends and through the middle. Leave him in bed, the poor lad. Even after I explained the situation, some family members are still on my parents' side saying I overreacted by kicking them out because they were only looking out for my safety, seeing as I'm pregnant. Edit. Unfortunately, I have a family who is somewhat close and loves to talk. Secrets don't stay secret in this family for long, especially with my aunts and cousins that can't keep anything to themselves. As soon as they know something, everyone else has to know it as well. Bit of extra information I see kept getting asked. This is my first child. She will also be the first grandchild and the firstborn in the family for the last 20 years. Doesn't give them an excuse to act like that. So down in the comments, Advanced Pair 8988 says, not the butthole, your parents are ridiculous. Don't let them come over for some time. Let the poor dude sleep. Precisely. And then Grimwall says, tell your parents if they ever involve other people the way they did this time, they will not be meeting their grandkids. Yup. They can communicate to you if they have a problem or keep it to themselves. They are guests in your house, and them being your parents does not give them the right to disrespect you because you aren't a child. Gossiping about you has made you want them around less, not more. Edit. Refuse to discuss it with others. They weren't involved and their opinion is not welcome. Be firm now, less problems later. Folding at this point will just make them worse. Yeah, you gotta put in clear boundaries and stick to them and let them know they cannot cross them or they will not have any access to you. Edit 2. Thank you for the award. I also want to say I know it's hard to stand up to boundary stompers, it is. OP did good by not letting them do it to her husband. Sometimes it takes loved ones being in the line of fire to knuckle up. Honestly, I used to be quite the people pleaser. I bet that will surprise you. But I learnt quickly that all that gets you is trodden all over. So, you got to put in them boundaries, you got to put in hard lines and say, if you cross this, I will stick to this consequence that I am telling you will happen, and then stick to that consequence if it happens. Sometimes you've got to train adults as if they were children. Am I the butthole for refusing to cut off my hair because my 7-year-old niece has cancer? Okay, trigger warning for talks of cancer before we get into this, and children with cancer. If that's a sensitive subject to you, then, feel free to dip out now. This will be the last post we read today. The title probably already tells I'm the asshole, which I probably am, but I just need other people's opinion on my situation. I am 17 male. Unfortunately, about 6 weeks ago, my niece got diagnosed with ALL. Where's Google? Come here, Google. We need help. Acute lymphoblastic leukemia is a type of cancer that affects the blood and bone marrow, specifically the lymphoid cells. Considering she has pretty much had health issues since birth, words cannot describe how bad I feel for my aunt, uncle, cousin, and especially my niece. It basically broke their family apart, and even though I had never been that close with them, I really tried to emotionally support them, especially my cousin, to really let him know that I'm here for them and that he can tell me whatever is going on inside his mind at any time, anywhere, which he has already done a couple of times, which, considering you're 17, that's a lot for you to take on too. Like, that is an awful lot for a teenager. Now I'll get to the point. Last week, due to the results of chemo, my niece's beautiful long hair started to fall off, which they immediately shaved down. I'm not native English, sorry if I make this sound weird, but the next day, a group chat including the entire family was created, where my aunt announced that it would be wholesome if everyone shaved their hair off as well to show their support, including a picture where the 4 of them all smile without the hair on their head. As soon as I saw this, I thought it was wholesome, but doubted anyone else would do it. 2 hours later, I arrived home to see both my sister and my mother bald, following by my other cousin and grandma. The next day, when I woke up and entered the living room, my mum asked, "When are you ready to do it?" while holding an electric hair trimmer. I originally thought it was something to decide on your own, but since everyone else is doing it, I'm kind of being pushed into a corner. I really don't want to sound egotistic, but I'm a guy with long hair, which over the years has basically become my personality. It's pretty much the only thing about myself I love, and I really don't think I want to shave it off. Honestly, if you don't want to shave it off, then don't shave it off. Everyone else has done it. How much more do they want? I totally get that it's to show solidarity, but it should still be a choice. You can absolutely show your solidarity and your commitment to helping them through this and your support in many other ways than shaving your head. Yes, if I shave it, my niece could be shocked that her long-haired cousin finally shaved his hair off in order to support her. But if I have to keep things real, I might sound extremely rude here, but my aunt made a video showing my niece's reaction to my mum and sister shaving their hair off, and she did not even seem to slightly care about it. The video went like this. Aunt trying to show the picture to my niece, who is watching a cartoon. She has to tap her maybe 4 times to get her attention, and when she looks, she just stares at it, says, "Wow," then continues watching a cartoon. I noticed after this video, my mum started to kind of become pushy towards me shaving my hair to show my support. Again, this might sound rude, but in other words, she wants to drag me down into the pit with her. This morning I got a text from my aunt where she said it would be really nice if I shaved my head as well in order to show my emotional support towards my niece. That is not a requirement to show emotional support, but okay. If we have to keep things real, shaving my head will basically change nothing in the entire situation. But I can't just say no, can I? Yes, you can. I seriously really don't know what to do. If my aunt would have shown me a little more appreciation to my sister and my mum, I would have probably considered it. But considering she did not even reply to the pictures and just immediately showed them to my niece as if you have to do it, I don't think I'm willing to do it. Don't get me wrong, I really, really, really love my niece, and even though I'm not that close with her, I always really cared about her and made sure she always felt comfortable with me. And I have a lot of fun memories with her when she was a little girl. It's just that when they moved a couple towns away, we started seeing them less and less. But really, what do I do? I'm almost getting threatened to cut my hair off by 3 people, and if I do decide to do it, what if no appreciation is shown? Yes, I would have done it to show support for my side, but if it's nowhere to be appreciated, then what's the point? Honestly, I wouldn't do it. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. You can show your support in so many other ways. So many other ways. If you're not comfortable doing it, do not let them push you into doing it. Is it a nice gesture for someone to do off their own back? Of course it is. When you're being forced into doing it, though, it becomes performative. There's no meaning behind it, you know? So down in the comments, upstairs result 7401 says, if I, God forbid, got cancer, I would find it extremely condescending. Showing support is not the same as a phone call or coming to visit, which is actually showing support. Finding Homeliness says, when my mum got sick and needed to shave her head, she was absolutely fuming at my brother suggesting it, as she explained she felt bad enough with the reminder every time she looked in the mirror. She didn't need one while looking at her kids. And that's the other side, isn't it? That is it. It's like, if the person who actually has the cancer really doesn't care about you shaving your hair off and doesn't feel like that validates anything, then there is also the argument of, well, what is the point in doing it? I completely get people doing it to show solidarity. I completely get that. And I think it's a great thing if you want to. You shouldn't be forced into it, though, if you're not comfortable. I do really hope that the OP's niece, cousin, I don't know, I lost track. I really hope that they get better and, you know, they manage to beat it. And obviously the OP plans to be there for them along the way. That's all that matters. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for today. If you made it all the way to the end with me, I appreciate you very, very much. If you'd like to give a little like, subscribe, notifications on, I would appreciate you even more. And that's your initiation into the Cult of Void. Welcome. Whatever it is you're doing for the day, I hope you have a really good rest of your day. Goodbye.